JQ, and it's my pleasure to be introducing the 1200 by Fieldgate Urban at Ossington and Dundas. That's 1200 Dundas Street West in Toronto. This is an exciting new community that I'm going to be going into detail about over about the next 20 to 25 minutes. Now, before we get into that, a quick 2-minute video that's going to provide an exciting overview of this great opportunity.
The 1200 is perfectly positioned in one of Toronto's most vibrant neighborhoods, where Ossington meets Dundas, and the city's best restaurants meet Toronto's coolest boutiques. It's the area's first condo in 7 years, with no plans for more in the next 5. A rare opportunity in a neighborhood where condos are in short supply. That's in sharp contrast to other downtown communities like City Place, King West, and Liberty Village. The 1200 is within walking distance to the city's hottest spots, like West Queen West, College West, and the Ossington Strip. And just down the street from Trinity Bellwoods Park, where people from across the city gather all year long. It's a neighborhood that truly has it all, and a residence that fits seamlessly within it, standing 8 stories tall, with a curated collection of 115 suites. This is not just the condo of the decade, but the opportunity of a lifetime. With 85% of the neighborhood being detached, semis, or row homes, the 1200 is your chance to own a modern home in this highly exclusive community for an average price of $700,000. That's an incredible deal for a neighborhood with the highest amount of top-rated restaurants, nightlife, and independent shops in Toronto, where there's something amazing for every taste and a place for every passion. And with the TTC just a few steps away, you're connected to anywhere you need, anytime you want. This isn't just a condo, it's the condo. Designed for life at Ossington and Dundas.
Folks, Fieldgate Homes is one of the biggest builders in the country, having built over 20,000 new homes. And Fieldgate Urban has built many condos in the downtown core and AAA locations, including a number of mid-rise boutique projects. You may be familiar with Zig Condos at Bathurst and St. Clair, the Heartwood Condos, which is currently under construction in the Beaches, the Poet in Leslieville, 90 Niagara and King Street West. Now, there's a number of advantages to mid-rise buildings. The fact that there's less people in the building means there's more exclusivity. There's less wear and tear on the amenities. There's less people riding the elevator. There's less wear and tear on the infrastructure of the building. So as an owner or as a landlord, that puts you in better control of your property. The latest boutique community getting launched by Fieldgate Urban is the 1200, and that's coming to the Trinity Bellwoods neighborhood, just west of Ossington on Dundas Street. This is just a 5-minute walk from the Trinity Bellwoods Park. And as you can see, this community is just outside of the downtown core. Now, if you look at this aerial image showing the wider neighborhood, what you'll see is that we're actually just an 8-minute walk to Queen Street West, which was voted as one of the top neighborhoods in the world by Vogue magazine. It was voted as one of the coolest streets. We're also an 8-minute walk to College Street to the north. So you have 2 of Toronto's most popular streets, and you have Ossington Avenue as well. But what you'll also see is that there's essentially no high-rise buildings in the area and very few boutique condo buildings in the area as well. So the predominant housing supply here in this market is $1.3 million homes and up. And those homes are the entry level. You actually have to fix them up typically, and that's for a row house. If you're a tenant, you're probably renting in the basement of one of those row houses because the few boutique buildings in this area very rarely have inventory available on the market. Now let's look at another shot of this building. This is a beautiful building that was designed to look like it's always been here in the neighborhood. We have terraces starting on the 4th floor, and 90% of our suites have outdoor space. Those terraces actually go as deep as 12 feet deep as well. So we have beautiful 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms on high floors with great terraces, and we have unobstructed views in every direction starting on the 3rd floor. But what we've also done is designed this building to have 70% of our suites that are in the $500,000s or in the $600,000 range. Our location here, essentially at Dundas and Ossington, is walking distance to festivals that happen in the summertime over entire weekends on Dundas, on Ossington, on Queen Street West, and at College Street. So that means essentially for an entire month of your summer, you do not need to plan what you're going to do on the weekend. You can just go outside. If you want, you could go to the Trinity Bellwoods Park every weekend, or you can go outside to some of the best outdoor patios in the city. So let's talk about the restaurants here, because this is actually one of the highest densities of 4.5-star rated restaurants in the city. And I'm not talking about luxury restaurants that are expensive 5-star restaurants. I'm talking about some of them are holes in the wall, but they're just so popular. People love them. And so you have a very eclectic mix from all around Toronto and from all around the world, with restaurants like pho, Vietnamese pho. We have French food, we have vegan food, we have ice cream parlors that have lineups around the block. And so this is one of the most popular destinations in the city. Now, in terms of style, this neighborhood is much like a gentrifying neighborhood, but unlike most other gentrifying neighborhoods, there's no industrial uses and industrial buildings in the area. You'll also see in this area there are no old rental apartment buildings, which is very unique for Toronto because even Rosedale has these old rental apartment buildings in the community. Now, in regards to the condo supply, there hasn't been a new condo launch in this neighborhood for the past 7 years. And if you talk to the City of Toronto and you do some research in terms of the planning, you'll see that there isn't another launch that's planned for at least the next 5 years. So there is an undersupply of the condominium housing segment within this market. There's actually 50 times less supply of condominiums in this neighborhood than the downtown core. And what you'll see, again, is that this puts you in a position of control as an owner of that type of sought-after, rare real estate in this neighborhood, which is a very high-demand area. So let's take a look at the small number of boutique buildings that are in the neighborhood. As you can see here, they're essentially 90 units or less. And so it's very rare that there's actually an apartment that comes available either for sale or for lease. And when they do, they're at top dollar. So if you look at our location in a 1 kilometer radius, and you see this map showing all of this yellow is residential, non-developable area. And what you see in red are the actual main street commercial streets where you can develop. But the issue is that the ownership of land is so small and separately owned that you would need to be assembling a lot of different pieces of separately owned land. And even if you could assemble enough to make a building out of, you don't have enough depth. And then if you were to find a unique property that does have the depth where you can finally do a building, the requirement in this area is for a low-rise building. So just like the best cities in the world, like Paris and London that are low-rise buildings,